We are
Now in session.
Thank you all for tuning in today. I'm so excited. We got our boy Sam back too. It's always great to have him on the show and on the session as well. I really want to take a moment to thank everybody who's been commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing. You guys are amazing. Continue doing that. We love your support. If there's anything that you guys would like us to talk about, feel free to leave that comment, okay? Because we love to hear from our subscribers and folks who follow us. Number two is I really want to give a shout out. We really want to give a shout out to all the folks from various states that are listening. We watch and see you guys as well. So North Carolina, the country of Canada, we see you. Texas, Connecticut,
Spain,
Indiana,
Australia,
Indonesia,
Arizona, Nevada, Washington State. We see you. Oregon, we see you as well. Okay, Minnesota, we love you guys. Florida, we see you guys out there. Alabama's in the house too.
Oh yeah,
and a few folks from New York. So, and I'm sure there's more other states that I didn't. List where I didn't share it today, but definitely we want to give a shout out to everyone who's supporting us. We really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Today we have like I said, a special session, and the question for us guys that we want to share: does money make you happy? Does it actually?
Does it
make you happy?
No shit.
Does happiness. So that's
So yes.
For the most part, it does. For the most part, it does. You know, I mean, why does money make us happy?
Ooh, does it actually make you happy?
It opened doorways, man. Money opened doorways to happiness, right? Without money, there aren't as many avenues that opens up. Mm-hmm. So that's my take on it, and I'm just gonna run with it.
What's your experience with it like?
Coming from a family without money, right? I didn't have that same mentality as I do now. But like I said, once I got a degree and doors start opening up, opportunities start opening up. And once I got a place, you know what? I'm going to utilize my place to make money too. Any way that I can get money, can make money without sacrificing too much time, I'm going to try to exploit that as best I can.
Yeah, I think money is a very important aspect of living, right? Money is a tool, right? I see it as a tool for you to, like Sam was saying, open doors, get places, get better choices, right? So if you ain't got money, you're probably limited to eating whatever it is that you're able to get or able to afford only, right? But once you get more money, you could now start going to McDonald's. You could start going to Chick-fil-A. You could go to these restaurants, right? More and more fancier restaurant will open up, to you. So I think it's a tool, What about you guys?
Yeah, for me, like money allows you to focus on things that makes you happy and allow you time to go do the thing that makes you happy. So money doesn't equal time or happiness, but it allows you to go enjoy those things. Because if you don't have the money, you can't find the time to go do the things that makes you happy. You can't afford the things that make you happy. Like the things that make you happy doesn't have to cost money, but without the money, you won't be in the position to enjoy those
I'm going
to
challenge you on that a little bit, Charles, because
I dare you.
When you make a lot of money, you're not going to have time, right? So how do you make time to go do the thing that you want to do when you're caught in that cycle where you're always, working all the time, or you're always chasing that money, or you're worried about the business and you have to be there, So how do you make that time?
So for me, like right there when you're chasing money,
right?
I don't like chasing money, happiness, or love, because that's saying that they're running away from me. I like to attract them. To me, like, what kind of person am I to attract these kind of things?
Right.
So I'm not out there spending all my time trying to make money. I had to find a way to get money without using all my time. So doing
let the money make itself.
Right.
Well, yes.
Right.
Or hire the people, or get with who could help you make that money.
Right.
It's not what make you money, it's who could help you make that money. So learning how to leverage your time and money, and then you'll be able to find the time.
Like
Charles.
Like
investment, right?
Investment.
Charles.
Well, I think Charles speaking
Yeah.
from a realtor
Well, no, no.
standpoint
Yeah,
too,
he's
well,
right?
because
Talking
it,
about a
it starts
realtor's
off with your mindset.
Mindset, right?
Because if
Right,
you
right.
just say, "Oh, go invest money and use your money to make money," everybody say that shit all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Right.
how the hell do you do that?
Yes,
Right.
right.
Like, how does
That's
your
what
money
I
make
was trying
money?
to get at, Charles.
right.
Gotta have to help him a little bit. Get there, Charles.
Well, sorry, Toby, I can't come up with your answer like for the way you want me to. All right, these are my answers. So if you want to answer that, just say it. But anyways, it's all to me. It starts with the mindset of like figuring out what you want and what's important to you,
Sure.
and being that person before you actually get those things. So now you could go invest, or you could, end up finding a sugar mama that pays for all your bills.
If it's that easy, everyone can do it.
Yeah.
It is that
So-
easy. You got first be open to it.
Yeah. I think it's that mindset again, man. When I think about that question, I think about the demographic, the environment. I think about, coming from a psychological standpoint, I look back at my parents' first generation story, right? We came here to the States. We didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
So in order for us, we had to do multiple jobs. We had to do farming. We had to do all these other different avenues to create,
Sacrifice,
right? And I think if you think about this question with Lao people back in Laos, they'll tell you, well, family is more important to me than money.
Yeah.
Right. Food on the table is more important to me because we have a chicken, we have a duck, we have rice, we have fish. That's important to me. That's a sacrifice. That's a survival thing. If I think about now, even being in states where we have to pay bills, we have to pay mortgage, all those stuff are not free,
Right.
like compared back to Laos. So does money buy happiness? Here in the States, I think it just depends on where you're at in life, what you want to do. But when my parents first came, man, we struggled a lot. We worked 24 hours a freaking day, no matter what, and now I look back at now, the kids are kind of doing that now, but my parents, they have opportunity to retire, to just relax a little bit. Their time is more important now instead of money. And I think the extra bucks that you have now, it's cool to have, but I think for them, family time, quality time is more important. So I think to answer that, and in my perspective, is more about where you're at in life, what you want to do, and where you leverage and balance, that out. Yeah.
So that's a yes.
Yeah. So that's a yes.
I agree with you, man, because money, like when we came to the States first, my family was like just with every family, right? Southeast Asian family.
Oh, yeah.
We had nothing, right? And so we had to work, and to us at that time, money was most important, right?
Right.
Like, hey, we have to gather, we have to acquire these things, right? And so once we do it, and I think the mindset of us growing up, like, hey, money's important, it gets driven into us, right? And so now we're chasing that money, but once you find that money, you find that it isn't everything once you get to a certain spot, right? Or a certain
So how much is-
level in your life.
But
And how much is enough?
Yeah, I was
right?
going to say that. Yeah.
Well, because back then when we were younger, money was important not because money, was important. It's survival.
Yes.
We needed to
Yes.
survive. We needed money
Right.
to survive.
Right.
So that's why money was important at the time.
Right.
We didn't have time to learn about happiness.
Yes.
We just had to learn how to survive.
You just have to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when talking about how much money is enough, I mean, it could be $1 billion and still not enough. Is when you start being able to enjoy life and not spend more than you make. That's when it's enough.
So, millionaires,
Right.
they always say, I'm not happy, or money cannot buy happiness, right?
Well, because I think they get to a certain level, right, where they're able to buy everything
Yeah,
and
buy
go
everything.
everything,
Sure,
do everything. They've
sure,
seen everything.
sure.
So now that comes down to their spiritual side. Their soul now
Soul.
yearns
Yes.
for more, right? They yearn for more. Like, hey, I'm incomplete inside, right? I need love now. I need companionship. right?
Yes.
These are things that money can't buy.
It's funny you mentioned that. Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, right? I don't know her name. Shout out if you're watching this. She got, I don't know how many billions of dollars, right,
Right.
through that divorce.
Yes.
She said it. I don't need all this money. This money is not happiness for me.
Yeah.
She donated $4 million to Poverello. She reached out to us, right? She said, man,
Pavarella?
yeah, to Poverello. $4 million, right? Hey, we want
What
to
was
get
your cut?
I ain't getting no cut. It goes all to the client, right?
Yeah.
But I want to appreciate that. But when I'm listening to her story, and she's donated to Fresno Unified School District, Fresno Unified School District, Big Brother, Big Sisters. All these folks got a part of that as well.
Jeff Bezos' ex-wife?
Yes, ex-wife.
She has ties to
I
Fresno,
forgot
or
her.
what?
No, she doesn't. I don't know if she has ties to Fresno. But when I heard her story, when had all that money, it's just like, I'm giving this to all the charity. Because I have everything that I need. My happiness is different. It's
Right.
not these material things or money. There's less very unfortunate folks that
Yes.
don't have what I have, right? And she made a good point about the struggle of people, you mentioned spiritual, that don't have that connection that they wish they had.
Yes.
There's people that work so much, some of my colleagues, that get a divorce because they don't have no time with the children or the kids, right?
Yep.
And that is like, when I think about all that, man, it's the leverage, it's the balance, it's the time, it's where you're at in life, you know. So money doesn't always buy happiness. It's where you want to be. But you know, I just wanted to bring that up because we're talking about millionaires. But Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, she's doing an amazing thing, man, and she's giving money to anybody. You know what I mean? The people that she cares about, the community, the underserved population. So her vision of money is a lot different than compared to the other ones that don't have.
Yeah, because she's been there, right?
Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
been
if you think, it's kind of like she has that experience, right? And she's like, man, you know, I'm doing all of these things, and yeah, at that time in your journey, you're like, man, this is cool. I'm doing this. I'm buying all these things. This is what makes me happy at this time in this physical realm, right?
Right.
In this reality, right? But once you get to that level, you know, you're gonna be like, you know, I don't need this, you know. And a lot of people, you see it. A lot of millionaires, billionaires, they come out like, money isn't everything. But yeah, that's because you already went through that process
right.
already.
Yes.
you know?
But then, like, to me, since she was able to donate $4 million to Barbarello, that makes her happy. So money is making her happy.
That's right.
It's just used differently.
Giving.
Yes.
Yes, giving.
Giving, yeah.
Yes, being able to give money makes her happy. But if you didn't have money to give,
Right.
then
You never
you had to
yeah.
figure something else out. And to me, the people that have money and can't figure out happiness is either you're born into like a lot of money, or you gave up everything in
But
your
you
life
don't necessarily have
become
to
a
give
millionaire.
money, right? You could
Yeah.
give time.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's the same principle of giving. It's just in her case,
Mm-hmm.
she has the resources. So she probably can't donate the time. So it's like, you know what? Here's $4 million, right?
But how many people do
for
we
a
know?
cause?
Well, how many people do we know that goes out and say, you know what, I'm gonna donate my time?
Look at the people that goes to the temple,
Mm-hmm.
right? Don't they go out there and they say, you know what, I'm gonna do this
my
for the
time.
temple.
Yeah,
I'm
for
gonna give my
give my
time,
time,
right?
yeah.
The people that goes out and since Thanksgiving,
Volunteers.
right?
Yes.
Volunteers, right? They don't have the money to do it, but they can give the time, and that is the same thing as fulfilling, right? It's more fulfilling in a different way.
In a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but
yeah.
it's still in essence you're still giving. It's just in her case, she has money. You know, it's like, dude,
Right. Yeah, and I think you
and
know
it's a write off, right?
No,
no.
this is only to a certain point.
Yeah.
Don't-
I know.
So yeah, it's only to a certain point.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
everything is part individualized. You know, and Charles is actually right. Now that I hear him out and just explain that a little bit, you have money, you give it to people.
Yeah.
You are making a difference and making happiness to other people as well. So for you, you're doing a good deed, knowing that hey, I didn't need these millions of dollars, but I'm fortunate to give somebody to help that. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a win-win
Talking to my-
situation. Yeah, this is definitely a win-win situation. So
It comes down to, I mean, like we said, right? It comes down to different part. I mean, it's not right or wrong. You know, some people, you know, when we look at people like, hey, man, you're just chasing the money. You're chasing the money, right? And it's not necessarily wrong. It's just that's where they're at. That's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, and so many times, you know, people, you know, want to demonize everybody for
Yeah.
doing the things they need to
Well,
do.
let me change it up a little bit, because we were talking about how much is enough. How much, your personal self, how much is enough for you? When did you know, like, this is good enough for me and spend more time?
Sam,
I think, like, if you can't answer this question purposefully and say, hey, if I give you $1 million flat right then and there, would you be able to manage it and make it work for a lifetime? If you can't answer that, then you don't know how much enough is. Now, for me, right, since I'm going on this journey myself, right, I'm kind of individualizing myself, and I'm going to take some time away from the podcast. And, you know, I just
He's
Oh,
told
leaving,
the guys
guys.
this.
He's leaving.
So with me, I have a plan I mean, it's going to sacrifice a lot of time, a lot of effort on my part. And at the same time, I want to spend time with the family. That's me. So right now, enough would be, man, I don't want to put a freaking numerical value on it.
I don't think it has to be. It doesn't have to be a numerical value, you know.
Let's just say if I make 50% more than what I need to pay off my bills, I think that's enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For me, it's freedom.
Yeah.
That's when it's enough for me, right? So when I have freedom to do what I want to do, and time does not constrain me in any way, right? And if I want to go visit somebody, I want to just go somewhere without worrying, that would be enough.
Yeah.
You know, if I could say, you know what, I don't want to have to work for like a week.
And you don't have to worry about bills.
I don't have to worry about bills. Yeah, I don't have to worry about food, like, you know, being on the table. That would be more than enough. You know, I mean, that I don't need to be, you know, like a big old mansion man. You know, like a lot of my clients, they have big houses, but 2-3 people live in there, right?
Yeah.
And it's empty. You know what I mean? And they tell me all the time, like, man, I have this house and I have these expenses, right? And it keeps coming.
Yeah.
And they have to keep up with it, you know.
Yeah.
But to me, it's freedom. You know, if I'm able to say, hey, I'm free to do what I want to do, that's more than enough for me.
What about you, Charles? When is it enough? When is it enough?
I feel like Toby, where's freedom? But for me, it's just as long as I make more than I spend. I could make $3,000 a month, but if I'm only spending $1,000, then that's enough for me, because of course my expense is way more than $1,000. And the more you make, the higher your expense gets. So you got to figure when, or you can start being content with your lifestyle. So I don't have to necessarily make more. I just have to be able to be content with my lifestyle.
Man, all you guys are boring, man. Man, you guys are boring. It's never enough for LL Cool Lucky. I want everybody to know that it's never enough. No matter what I'm doing, no matter where I'm going, I have to make sure that people around me are taken care of. Echoing what Charles and Toby and even Sam was saying too. Like, we all have things that we have to pay for, expenses and everything.
But that comes down to freedom.
It comes down to freedom.
Because if you are able to take care of your guys,
Right.
right?
I think, to me, when is it enough? Man. I would have to say when I'm going fishing every freaking weekend without having to worry about anything. Freedom. Yeah.
How you gonna get the energy?
But
and then come back
right back. Come right back.
What the hell? I wanted to move around a little bit. And I like to move around in the session. The audience know
Fishing is boring.
He's gonna make me jump across this table right now. And shit.
No, I think, you know, I kind of probably could relate to Toby a little bit. I think freedom is probably most important for me. I think working so hard in my early 30s and late 20s allowed me to kind of do that a little bit, right? Investment, property, all the other stuff that came along with it, you know, allow us to, you know, Lupe and I to really gear towards a different direction. Even when we have our baby, like she's gonna be home, stay-at-home mom. She's not gonna work, so I have to accommodate those salaries. But we're comfortable, we're good, you know. And like I said, if I'm at the lake hiking, fishing, and doing things I want to do without worrying about things, that's when I know that, hey, this is not bad. This is actually a not bad life, right? I don't have no stressors around me. You know what I mean? That's what I feel that when is enough. However, like I said, it's still not enough in a sense, because there's times where things are going to change, evolve in the future. Right. So I'm also preparing for that as I go fishing and do that. When I say I'm not enough, I mean my mind is still ticking on investments or future jobs or businesses, right, that I want to do in the future. Doesn't mean that I'm not thinking about it. I am, because times change, inflation goes up, the prices goes up in the future. We may not have a $1,800, $2,000 mortgage and more. It might be $4,000. You know what I mean? With the economy, with food storage, and all this other stuff, things change. So that's when I say that maybe it's not enough for me at certain times. However, at this moment, I feel that freedom it's where I lean more towards. And in the future, I'm always going to be looking for freedom.
But freedom has a price, though.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to cost you your time.
Cost you time.
Money. Yeah.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is that to get to freedom, right, it's like you're saying, you have to get all that stuff set in place first.
Sure.
Your investment, your home, all that stuff got taken care of. And will it change? Definitely it will.
Yes.
You know, because nothing stays the
Stay
same.
stable, right.
You know, it
Yeah.
always changes, right?
Sure.
Once you get there, the system that you do have in place should be able to adapt, right?
It's totally.
To whatever your situation is. So
Yes.
if you have all your bases covered,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it so
Yes.
much. You know, so but for us, first generation, second generation, we are in a phase in our life where we're like, you know what, we have to build this generational wealth
Sure.
to get to that spot,
Sure.
right?
Right,
Because we don't have that. You know, none of our family has
What does
that.
generational wealth mean?
Meaning you have wealth that you create in this lifetime, in your lifetime, that you could pass on
Yes.
to your kids.
To your kids.
You know, so instead of like, you know, I remember this guy told me, you know, everybody is like a race, right? Some people start at the very beginning. Some people start at, you know, maybe 3 yards in, 5 yards in. You're still running the same race.
Yeah.
It's just where you start. And that generational wealth is what you give to your kids to give them that head start.
Sure.
You know, so I mean, that's place
Yeah.
our responsibility as men to create that.
Do you guys, maybe Charles and Sam too, do you guys think about general wealth right now as you
Of
guys
course
are
I
in
do.
your
Right
careers?
now, 100%.
100%.
That's what I'm building towards.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's not just giving my kids money
Yeah.
or, you know, it's giving them the knowledge.
Sure.
So, because that's going to be more important than me having $1 million for
Yeah.
each one of them by the time I'm dead.
Sure, sure.
Because if I die and I didn't pass down the knowledge that I
Created?
not created, but
Accumulated.
Accumulate, yeah.
then they're just gonna blow that money.
Sure.
Yes.
So, but if I am able to teach them the work ethic and how to think like a rich dad versus a poor dad,
Sure.
then that's the wealth that I'm giving to them. So hopefully, they will be able to pass that on to the next generation.
Sure.
And then also having like, you know, a stable family for them to be able to focus on, you know, other things,
Right.
other than having family issues and home issues where a lot of people I don't know could lose their mind and when you know, like when they talk about people that's growing in a single family home and all that stuff and they aren't there like mentally
Sure.
because you're a therapist, you should know that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But for me, that's the wealth that I'm able to give them.
Right.
Because I didn't hit the lotto to give them like, you know, $1 billion for the next generation. So what I got is a little bit of knowledge to pass on.
And that's definitely a great value. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, how about you, Sam?
Yeah, so I agree with Charles 100%,
Yeah.
except that I want to add structure to that, right? So having that structure and ability to grow and learn, right, would build that general wealth even more. So it'll prolong it further down the line. So I have nothing to add but the whole structure
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. I mean, you hear it a lot, man. Jackie Chan said it. I have all this money. Why am I just going to give this to my son? He mentioned this on the newspaper article I read a couple weeks ago. He can make, if he's smart and he learned the things that I was be able to teach him,
Yeah.
he can make all this money and even more.
Yes.
He's a man just like I am. If I can make it, so could he. You know, and I even followed this realtor, Charles. I don't know, you know, the Mr. Tack.
Yeah.
Very popular guy out of Washington. If you're watching this, Mr. Tack, please thank you so much for your
We would love
knowledge,
you to
man.
come on.
Yeah, we'd love for you to have come on the show.
Where is he from?
He's from Seattle, Washington area. He mentioned he has 2 kids. Those kids are investing. He's teaching them. They have, I think they have a laundromat right now.
Yes.
They have a
Yes.
few. If you have a little small, little size
Businesses.
businesses, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's teaching them. He's saying like, hey, I have a Ferrari, Bentley, and all these cars. They don't drive it. That's not theirs. When I die, these are all going to give to charities or whoever. They're not giving it to my kids will make more than me before I even do all this because I'm teaching them the knowledge.
Yes.
That was the value of the generational wealth, and you know. So I wanted to ask you guys what that meant about that. But he shared like, yeah,
I agree with that
Yeah.
too, because going back to that scenario of where you're running, right? You're building this generational wealth to give to your kids to be able to invest in a laundromat, to be able to. So
Right.
you're giving them a head start, but you're also passing down the knowledge. Hey,
you're teaching.
yeah, you're teaching them, right? So let's say, you know, I give you $100. Okay, what can you do with that $100? Right.
Yep.
So if a kid with $100, they could build that wealth there. But now imagine if you give your kid 10, 20 grand, right?
Right.
Okay, buy this business, right? Or do it, you know, invest in this,
Right,
right?
right, right.
So they're going to be able to learn how to invest rather than the kid. They're going to learn the same principle, but they're starting way different. He's going to have to work a lot harder than the kid with the 10, 20 grand. You know, that's what I'm saying is you pass that on.
Hey, did you know, being first generation, all of us on this table is kind of first generation.
What's first generation? Is
First
it people that
generation
moved here?
No, when your parents got here with you.
Yeah.
So I was born here, so I'm second generation.
You're second because your mom brought you here. And
Okay,
you
I'm
were
always
born here.
confused on
So
this
me, I could say I'm born in Laos. Shout out to Pakse. I was born in Laos. I came here when I was 3. So my parents came. We all came here together. So me and my brother Sai, we're first generation. So my question to you is, when you guys got to the state, or maybe even second generation, Charles, did your parents help you differentiate between money, the value, what is it worth? Or did they more of saying, here's $20 and you figure it out what you need to do? Or did you look at it and say, hey, man, I'm going to go do what I need to do to make this last the whole week?
I see me and Toby shaking our heads.
Yeah.
That's
Shaking my head.
definitely a no.
No way.
Well, why say
So
that,
what
Sam?
are you talking about?
Yeah.
No?
No, they just give you money, right?
Sure.
It's like, hey, go buy yourself some candy or whatever. They never taught us the value of money,
Really?
or where it came from. When we grew up, it's just it's kind of like an added bonus for doing good in school.
I got a unique story I'll share later. but wow.
Or my dad was a manager at 4331 East Hamilton.
East Hamilton. Shout out to Hamilton.
Apartment 101.
Apartment 101.
Apartment C.
So we would sweep the grounds, like
Sure,
literally
sure.
entire
So you got
property.
an allowance?
I didn't even get an allowance.
Okay.
We would
Child
assume,
labor. Child
yes,
labor.
we would assume that getting $1 or $2 is just as like a reward
Reward,
of any
right.
kind,
Right.
like just to go to Henry's place
Right.
to get candy or whatever.
Shout out
But
to
with
him.
that dollar worth
Worth
more
more
back
to you?
then.
Yes.
It was worth
oh,
more
yeah.
back. It could buy more though,
Yes,
right?
it could
Yeah.
buy a lot more.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
to me, $1 was $1, right?
Yeah.
We were scrounging for change. We
Wow.
were collecting cans, right? So he never showed me value until like we kind of grew into it.
So if you got money from the can collecting on it, did you spend it right away? When you
Right
had
away.
it right away?
I did not.
No,
know
My story was
principal
different.
writing.
Yeah, I have a unique
No.
story.
You want to go into
No,
your
you go.
story?
You go first.
Sure.
You share yours.
All right, because to me, like I was always taught the value of money. Like a penny saved is a penny earned.
Right,
So
right.
like I don't just go out and just start splurging. It's when like I remember in high school, I had $1, $50, and I wanted a soda. Like I'll look at the soda machine for like 3 weeks before I actually buy one. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, you still do that now. Hey, Kobe, we go to Vegas. Win?
win?
Nah, you know what? I'll wait.
Yeah, but then like that's a scarcity mindset that like I was
Sure,
taught
sure.
to where
Scarcity
like
mindset,
yeah.
yeah.
So hey, whatever you have, protect it. Don't waste it. It's,
Sure.
save it. And I was never taught to invest. It's more about saving.
Right.
And we didn't know anything about inflation, so the money going down in value. You're just like, oh shit, everything's going up in value. Not looking at the other way around where your
Right.
money is worth less.
Right.
So to me,
And you're the oldest in your family too.
Yeah.
So did your mom
Never gave
held
me
you
money.
more accountable?
Oh, yeah.
On the stuff like that, right?
of course.
See.
Remember, like she gave me money to hold, and I put it in my fanny pack.
Right.
And then I lost it. Man, I got my ass beat so bad. Like
Yeah.
I forgot it was like $30.
Yeah.
And I felt like I lost our life savings.
Yeah.
That's how much money meant to us
Yeah.
back then because we didn't have much.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me add something on to that, right? And it's more of a I got to show off to like these apartment kids that
The
I have
peers?
money, and I got to share the money that I have.
Sure.
So I would buy this stuff and start handing it out, right? So it wasn't like, man, I got to spend it all for myself. It's more
Yeah.
like I have this
Status.
Yes,
Status.
it's status. Yes,
Status. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little
No, I
showing out a
understand.
little bit.
It's status. You know, it's more like, hey, you know what? I'm able to take care of people.
Yeah.
I'm able to buy these things. Right. I
Right.
could wear Jordans. Right. Back in the day, it was Jordans. Right.
Hell no, I got Pro Wings,
any
bro.
Nikes and
Yeah.
Adidas.
Fila's, Champions.
But it's still relevant to this
Yeah.
day, right? You see
yeah.
all these kids on TikTok,
Yep.
right, flashing their money, flashing their, chains and all that stuff, and it's a status symbol,
Right.
right? And it's important. It's not going to go away.
Yeah.
No.
You know
No,
what
it
I
never
mean?
will.
Yeah, it never will.
It's in the human nature.
Yeah. What about you, Toby? Did You're the oldest in the family.
Yeah, I'm the oldest in my
How
family.
did your mom and dad?
The black sheep of the family.
Did your mom and dad like teach you what the value of that money was when they gave to, or did you just spend it on anything?
No, they never
wanted?
really taught me about money. They always had businesses, right? And they've always run it, but they never really taught me like, okay, open a business or do this and that. They always did that, but they never entrusted the knowledge. That's the thing that was missing. It's like passing it on, because then as a man you're thinking, well, fuck, my job is to take care of my family and doing this, and not knowing that you need to pass these knowledge on. And the value of money was never taught to me.
Wow.
It wasn't until later where I opened my own businesses, failed many businesses, and lost a lot of money. And where I had to learn how to control expenses, because before we were just spend, right? And we didn't know the value, like Charles was saying. And with my son now, man, I take him to work with me every chance I get. I take him with me. I throw him up on that roof, and I make him go underneath the house. So he has to work hard for it. And now this kid don't want to spend no money for nothing.
See, that's
That's
very,
how I was.
Yeah.
If I have to go pick it, man, I'm the oldest in the family.
Yeah.
Parents didn't have a lot of money. We were poor. The other kids around me always had flashy clothes, right? And they're the youngest in their family, so they were spoiled.
Yes.
And I would look at my peers and be like, damn, dude, I can't even get that. I'm struggling, man. I remember one story, man. I wanted these Reebok shoes for basketball in 8th grade, Charles. Charles and I went to school together. And the shoes was $75. This is back in the late 90s. Imagine $75 was a lot of money compared to what it is now. So it'd probably be double by now. But my mom said, hey, you want these shoes? Then guess what you're going to go do with me? You're going to the farm with me. We're going to go trim Chinese eggplant. A roll is $20. So I'm saying, cool, let's do this, right? Me and my brother Sai, right?
A roll. Okay.
My mom said, okay, roll with me. 5 o'clock, right? My mom got the food ready. We ready to go. Me and Sai, right? We went over there. We looked at the roll. We're like, man, this is nothing. Man. So you sit down, how you actually, whatchamacallit, what's that word? Prune, or that's what you're doing. You're pruning the Chinese eggplant leaves so that it could grow better. And you're doing each one, and you're sitting on the ground. And you guys squatting on the ground, and you're dirty, bro. On top of that, whatever's going in your nose, flies, whatever that is, in the hot summer, it's probably 80 degrees by 5 o'clock already. I finished a row in 2.5 hours. $20, right?
But that's pretty good. $10 an hour. That's pretty damn good.
Right?
Yeah.
Check this out. We keep doing another row. Me and Sai say, man, let's split up. Let's do it together. Maybe we get faster, right? So we do it. We finish. Took us 2 hours. My mom,
you did it once. It was 2 hours. You and your brother did it. It was 2 hours.
We did it, me and him was 2 hours. Same row. Because we were getting slower, getting tired.
Oh, got you.
We're slow, getting tired, and we're looking at each other talking, right? Man, we're talking. We're having fun now.
We're
bullshitting now. Yeah, exactly. And I still remember this, man. Not only did I want the shoes, my mom told me, you hungry? I was like, yeah, Mom. I want to go get the 39-cent cheeseburger. Remember that time?
Oh, yeah.
They had 39-cent cheeseburger? So my mom got paid. At the end of the day, we only got paid $100. Mind you, my shoes is $75. Mm-hmm. My mom says, well, for all your hard work you guys get, so you get $20, your brother get 20. In order to get 75, you got to come here for the whole month. Right? I'm looking at her like, damn, Mom, man, this is a lot of work. I can't come 3 more days, right?
Yeah.
Then she goes, when we're driving along, and I sweated so much, dude, I still remember this hard work, bro. When we got to McDonald's, my mom says, here's your $20. Go ahead and go buy your 39-cent cheeseburger. 39 cents. I literally looked at freaking Madonna and told her to leave the parking lot. She goes, oh, you don't want to buy 30? Man, I sweated my ass off with this $20. I'm not going to. So if I bought 39-cent cheeseburger, I had to buy it for my brothers and sisters at home. They eat 3 each.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the math in my head, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing the math. Like, oh, Mom, that's going to be $7. For Sai, me, my sister, and my dad.
Yeah.
That's $7. So I just got $13 left. Well, that mean I ain't never going to get my shoes. So the value my mom was trying to teach me,
Taught you a lesson.
taught me a lesson.
Yeah.
See? So next time you asking your mom and dad for money,
Yep.
think about how hard I have to work to give you the $75, you know? And that point, it hit me. So I did the same thing. He's like, I don't even want to spend this. Literally, I was holding on to that $20 like it was probably 10 grand or 20 grand, bro.
Right.
And to other people, it may be like, that ain't nothing, you know?
Yeah.
But I think at that moment, man, I finally realized what hard work was, man.
That was more important.
more
than the
important
money,
to me
that
than
knowledge,
that.
yeah.
And I really never asked a lot from my mom. I struggled a lot, man. When even my peers, they had money from their parents, their brothers, older brothers, sisters. I never got that. You know what I mean? And I struggled a lot going to school. I didn't have the most name brand clothes. I didn't do none of that, you know. And there's times where I'm just like, damn, dude, I wish I could start working already. And that's when I actually got my first job at 15. You know what I mean? So I think that's the value that they taught me.
I remember in middle school,
Yeah.
I was like looking at everybody like, man, everybody is wearing, fuck the name brand.
Yeah.
Everybody's wearing new clothes this year.
At the beginning of the year.
right?
Yeah.
Everyone's fine.
Like, damn, I'm wearing this clothes from like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
And-
it's a revelation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Like,
see it.
Lucky over here is like, man, I don't get the name brands. I'm like, man, I just want one new shirt. Like me and my brothers, we'll share clothes.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's why I love uniforms. Because we wear the same shit every single day. Like we have like 3 outfits. We wear the whole year. And nobody know that we're wearing the same shit every single day. Man.
Oh, damn.
This is the struggle, though. You know what I mean? That not a lot of people talk about, and people, our audience, when they came here, their parents could probably attest to. But we were kids. We were selfish back then. We didn't know, like how we just want until that lessons was taught to us. And man, it's hard.
It's hard.
Oh, I don't know. I never had that part where I want because growing up, since my dad left in 1990, we didn't have much to be able to, and every time I see my mom not being able to provide for us, and I see how sad she is.
Yeah.
So me and my brothers, we never asked for anything.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to the single family household, right, where the mom raises just the kids. They have a different mentality.
Yeah.
They're more like reserved with their stuff. And
I
it's
was-
because survival.
I was trying to get a job since I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
I remember like my cousin was gonna get me to go pack some bags for her donut shop or something, and I finally got my first job when I was in middle school.
It's a school program.
Yeah, the school
summer
program.
school
yeah.
program. Yeah.
I remember I made $400 that
Yeah.
whole summer. I remember I saved that thing forever, and then when I got a job, my first job at KFC. My God, I was like so happy.
Happy, huh?
I went home. I tried on that KFC uniform, looking in the mirror. I was like, man,
I don't wear this to school. This is a brand new.
that's what I thought too. I go, damn, I got brand new slacks. There's a crease on this shit.
Your first
Man.
job,
Yeah, my first job.
full-time job too.
Man, I went in there and then I worked my ass off, and everybody's like, oh man, you're such a good worker. I'm like, why the fuck you got so lazy?
Hey, what did you make at that time? It was like $475 or $575.
My first job started at $375. and then
$375.
for like 2 weeks, and then
For all you millennials and Gen X and all that, $370.
Gen Z.
Gen
Gen
Z.
Z.
Gen Z. Sorry, $375. Imagine that.
yeah, and then it went to $425.
Oh,
right
geez.
away. I was like, holy shit, I'm rich.
So that first paycheck was like 200 something. You were like balling, huh?
I remember it was $116.
Damn, see, you're balling, huh?
When did you learn about taxes?
Oh, you pissed off when you got taxed.
Hey,
I was pissed when I got taxed. What the fuck?
it wasn't that much for tax because I think my whole check was probably what,
Yeah.
160, 170.
yeah.
So it was like a $50 tax. But I didn't care about tax. All
Yeah.
I saw was this
Right.
$116, my first check. And I just ran home with it. I just remember like how happy I was. Like, fuck Uncle Sam, take what you want.
Right. When was your
no,
first
man.
job, Sam? How old were you?
So would you count working with my dad or
No,
That would be
Yeah.
Did you get a check?
or working for the man?
You got paid.
You got
though,
paid, right?
The one that you get
When
paid
you work for
You
your
got
dad.
paid though. You got to get
So,
paid.
The first job that you got paid for.
Oh shit! I think T would remember this. we were putting up the wall around the temple. I think I was 14 for the summer after my freshman year. I think it was like 14, 15, and we did the entire summer, 2 months
Damn.
for $400.
Which temple is this?
Shit, it's the one here in
Right,
Fresno.
Cambodian? The Cambodian
Yeah,
temple here?
Cambodian
Clinton,
temple.
Clinton Brawley?
Oh, so
Yeah,
you built that wall?
They broke it down. So
All that hard work.
all my efforts are gone. Nothing to show for it. So it took us 2 months from sunrise to sunset
For 2 months.
for 2 effing months. $400 flat.
But at 14, that was a lot of money.
That was
Yeah, it
a
is.
lot.
Yeah, but for 2 months.
But 2 months.
Yeah, for 2 months.
Yeah,
Every day for
And
2 months.
you put into hours. If I calculate it now, I'll probably make like 50 cents an hour or something like that. You know?
Sun up, sun down?
Yeah. So in the middle of summer, so the days are longer.
Yeah.
So I don't know what made Nareth want to join in on that torture. Bro.
How did you feel when you got paid though? You know, I mean, did you get paid like every week or at the end of the project?
I remember like feeling great, and I ended up giving 200 of it back to my mom. I felt like it's great to have, but I think I can share it with my mom where she can, I always think about the food and the groceries and everything she's done, the clothes. I mean, I can manage getting a pair of shoes, a jacket and stuff like that with $200. I didn't need the whole 400. I can always give it back.
Yeah.
While my dad ended up, pocketing like a big chunk, and, and it's great for our family, but like, I don't realize the whole entirety of how money worked and the value of it. All I knew is giving back meant a little more to me than other people.
Sure.
And that came from like 14 years. That came from sweeping the grounds at Hamilton, right? So, like I said, it's giving back means a lot more to me,
Right.
And that's why the podcast meant so much to us and the community,
Right.
because in a way, in a sense, we're giving back to them too.
Right.
Yeah, I think we did start this podcast in order to give back from our experience,
Right.
Yeah.
right? And kind of not let the audience or these kids out there like go down the wrong way. Kind of rethink,
Yeah.
a little bit. Something to think outside the box.
So this is our philanthropy. Say the word for me.
Philanthropy. Yeah.
Yeah. Of us, we can't give money, so we're giving time and experience.
Well,
Yeah, we're
hopefully
giving
in the
time,
future-
Charles. We're giving time.
Experience too.
We're
I
giving
said,
time, but in the future, with
Wait,
more
no.
sponsorships.
Wait,
Yes.
how you gonna
We
correct
wanna
me with
give
this,
back
what
to
I
the
just
community.
said though? Wait,
Yeah.
how's Toby gonna correct me with what I just said? We're giving time. I said
No, I'm going back because Charles said something about money, right? Oh, you give money, like, oh,
No,
you
I
can
said
give time.
I said we're
give
not
time,
giving
man.
money.
No,
I said we're
but we
giving
can
time
give
and our
time.
experience. And
Yes.
Toby go, we're giving time.
No, because remember Charles like, oh yeah, we're giving money. You can get in a position when some people can't do it.
All I
just
asked
like
was
us.
name a few people that give time back. And you did.
And I
you
did.
did a good
I
job. Yeah.
went on a whole list.
Yeah, you did a good job. I didn't argue
Charles was
about it.
surprised.
Hey, I didn't argue because I was gonna say it because I was like, I thought you were gonna be stunned and I was gonna answer it, but I'm like, all right, he answered it, so we're good.
Charles, your first job, what age?
Shit, 13.
13. What were you doing?
Summer job. I went to Del Mar Elementary School and worked as a janitor.
Okay.
And then in the second year, I worked with Duncan Farm, where we were like building those trails in the mountains.
Yeah.
The hiking trails and
trails.
cleaning up. Was it Millerton Lake? And man, that's just hard labor work.
Yeah.
And then after that was KFC.
See, Toby, about you. First job.
Probably about 10 or 11 or so when I started working. I started learning accounting from my dad.
Yeah.
He actually taught me to do his books, and that's when I didn't know debit, credit, put this in, make sure I didn't understand, All I know was I have to do this, the numbers got to add up, and, that's all he did. He didn't say nothing much, but I paid like $1 a day doing accounting. And, he had a auto mechanic shop, and so his stacks of invoice was high, and I had to go through all of it, bro. It was more of
So
a,
that's the shoebox accounting.
yeah, it was kind of more like a shoebox where I added up, make sure the money that was there was correct, and then the expenses was correct.
You learned how to use a calculator the right way.
Oh, bro, man, I had that. What's that watch?
Oh,
with
the watch one,
calculator?
the
Casio
watch
watch?
one. Yeah.
I did, yeah. I did learn how to use the calculator, and man, I to this day I hate accounting. I hate looking at the paperwork, but I know it's important if you run any type of business.
Yeah.
So
I think for me, 14, 15, I don't remember the exact year, but it was a summer program. The actual real job where I got a check and I got taxed for it. Yeah. I think kind of like Sam had mentioned, when I got it, it was 300 and something bucks. I later bought school clothes for all my brothers and sisters. You know, I gave it to my mom. I said, hey, I'll take a little bit, but then let's buy clothes because we didn't have a lot. But I think my dad and my mom was really happy, man, because I didn't have a car, so they dropped me off every day. I think for them, when they saw that, they're like, man, this guy's actually working. You know what I mean? That's good. You're learning how to do that, you know, and I think that's where it built me up to where I'm at today. You know,
Bill's character.
Hey,
Bill's
you had a
character.
car drop you off? Must be nice.
Yeah. Shit. Right in the front too of the school, right? I don't remember the school I did, man, but it was kind of the janitorial work that I had to do too. But that was a good time, man. Really, really good time. Yeah.
Man, I remember I had to take the bus to my first job. And I take the bus every single morning. I think we start at 7.
Yeah.
So I have to be at the bus stop at 6 in the morning to be able to get to work at 7.
Wow.
And I remember one time, like, this weird dude asked me, hey, you know where I could buy some engine oil? I forgot what the hell he was asking for. I was like, yeah, Albertson's right across the street. He said, oh, you want to come with me to grab it? I'll drop you off at work. I was like, dude.
Just a random guy?
Just some random dude. I think I was about to get kidnapped.
I know.
you went
What
with
the
him?
hell, bro?
Oh, hell no. Man,
He didn't offer you candy or nothing?
Nope. I saw the bus. I know the bus is here, and I jumped on the bus, and then as soon as I got to the other bus stop, I ran my ass all the way to Del Mar.
Speaking of this now, man, these
Like
kids
you.
nowadays, if you offer them candy, they're going to take it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Back then, we
They
didn't
don't
take
know,
it.
they don't
Yeah.
know the white bus.
Yeah.
I mean, the white van.
The white van, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? You know, like, back then we were street smart, right? So when
Yeah.
we see a stranger, like, hey, come, like, hell no, right? But now these kids, okay, yeah, I'll go. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
because they think it's a TikTok shit, like
Yeah.
a prank or something. Like, I don't know. I worry about the next generation.
Do you guys think the generation coming up, do you think they know what money is? Do you think that
No.
they're being taught money?
Nope. People, I see kids, like even my kids, as much as I teach them about the value of money, like my son would just go see, oh, snack bar. Daddy, can I get this? I go, you know, I'm going to eat that. He go, but I just want it. I'm like, you just going to throw it away. He go, so? I'm like, dude.
Do you make your son works and stuff, like for his stuff? Or?
I try to. He's only he barely turned 7, so there's only so much that I could force him to do. I make him do his chores, clean up after himself, help me clean up the garage and whatnot. But then like he only do so much. It's not like he has the work ethic to like, oh, I'm gonna clean this and I'm gonna get this. But my daughter does. My daughter, when like I tell her, hey, you know what? You want money to buy this? Why don't you go sell water at the park? And it backfired because she kept asking me, when we're going to the park to sell water? I'm like, fuck, I have to take her. Like, I have to go buy the water. I got to waste my time.
Smart idea, but yeah, we got to do it together.
But I didn't think she was going to be so excited about it.
Yeah.
So like, I'll tell her like, clean her room and I'll pay her this much. And she is like that. So my daughter sees the value of money and working for it. My son is the opposite. Like, he's entitled.
Man, I must be mean to my son then, man, because I don't pay him for his chores at all. Like, I tell him, hey, this is your responsibility. This is the things that you have to do in order for life to kind of be in order, right?
At 6 years old?
Nobody's going to pay you. At 6, 7, I started teaching myself. I started taking him with me, right? And, I don't make him go on the roof. I just make him go with me, say, hey, we got to go do this. Hey, so that way I make him feel tired, right? It's like, oh, man, this is a long day, right? This is so long. And, I give him $1, $2, and I make him, hey, you want to go buy a toy? Okay, so whatever he earned, I take him. And then, he want to buy, the most expensive toy, right? And he only has, $3, $4. He's like, Daddy, I want to buy this one. Like, okay, you have enough money? And he look at it, no, I got $4. So then I teach him, well, this costs this, and it was hard. It was difficult, man.
Well, I take my kids to go show houses with me.
Yeah.
And they'll, after school, they'll be super tired and hungry. Yeah. I'm like, well, we got to go do this work.
Yeah.
But that don't teach them as much as when they get their birthday monies and they get $300, $400, $500, whatever it is. And I go, oh, remember you want this big toy, it's expensive? This is what you owe me. And I charge them tax. I tax it. Like if it's $70, I take $100.
You have to, man, with these kids. I know you guys, when you guys don't, you have a kid, but as they get older, man, you have to be a
Only
dick,
time
bro.
to tell for me.
To teach them, right? You have to be the bad guy in order to teach your kid. And sometimes it breaks your heart, bro.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, damn,
I'm a
man, I don't wanna
softie,
do it,
man.
but
I
got
might
to.
have a hard exterior when it comes to business and everything like that, but when it comes to my daughter, I'm fucking soft as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she
kind of
melts
different.
me, bro.
If I have a daughter, I think I'd be soft too, though, But I have a son, so I'm gonna be hard on that fool, You don't have any value in this life unless you could provide value,
Yeah.
as a man, right?
Uh-huh.
Like
Right.
if you can't do nothing, the world's gonna look at you like, well, what can you do? Can you, provide for your family? Can you go find money?
Right.
Can you protect your family? We're judged
Yeah.
on that.
Was it Dave Chappelle that said only women and kids are loved unconditionally?
Additionally.
Was it? Oh man, that's
forgot.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Who said that?
I think it was Dave Chappelle or one of the stand-up.
Comedians.
Yeah, only women and children are loved unconditionally.
And dogs.
And well, he didn't say dogs.
Oh, he didn't say dogs?
No, but then men.
Come on, what people don't
Because
hate?
guys are dogs.
Yeah, guys are dogs. Oh, that's me too, right?
Pigs. You trying to be loved unconditionally. It's not working here. But men is only loved in the condition if they are able to provide. So I'm like, when I heard that shit, I'm like, damn, that's so true.
Yeah.
So I always try to teach my kids, especially my son, which he's super hard-headed. My daughter's actually learning more than my son is. And I'm like, dude, how could I get through to my son? Because he's super smart ass. And I'm hoping he changes, way and things different when
bring
he
him
gets
to me.
older.
Well, when he wants more things, right? I think those conversations can start. And I think even like for me too, man, like having a child coming up, and having these conversations with Lupe, right? What are we gonna do, man? He gonna start collecting cans, right? At 3 years old.
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead and
gotta-
put the plastic and cans in that blue bin over there, and we're gonna take it out to the recycling center, and then this is the money you're gonna get.
Yep.
Right? Or
Yep.
this is what you wanna go buy food, and you buy your Jordans, and this is what we're gonna do. And I think that's definitely a conversation that I think I'm going to have with my wife as we figure out what we want to do in the future. I think the way my parents taught us was pretty unique, and I think I want to tweak that a little bit, more. I think about now that we're a little bit older, right? We have a family, we have a house, we have property, whatever this, businesses, investments. Mm-hmm. The value of money that you guys have now, how would you guys organize or plan that for your future? The things that you want to do with your family. Maybe that question.
What do you
is
mean?
wrong.
Yeah, like reword that question.
Yeah.
Maybe that question is wrong. I'll take it back. Take it back one bit. How do you guys? I think I'm thinking more of the value of money and your children. That's what I want to lean towards. If guys can help
What do you
me
mean
out.
by value? Like,
Like,
How do you teach your kids to value money?
Well,
how you pass it on?
yeah, how you passed it on.
The value
Yes, the
Of money?
value of money. How do you pass it on to
by
your
making
children?
your kids go pick strawberries at the
Strawberries,
farm.
Yes.
farm.
By not.
Yeah.
It's hard because
Well,
as
I think
a man,
every parent is different, right? I think some of our viewers too.
Yeah.
You guys can respond to this or comment. Like,
Well, because think about this, right? Us as kids growing up, first generation, second generation, we were beat. We were weren't provided for, right?
Right.
So then, to us, when we have kids, right, our mentality is like, man, I'm not gonna do this to my kid. I'm not gonna, raise my kid like how my parent raised me, right? I'm gonna do something different, right?
Right.
So now what's happening is a lot of parents they're spoiling their kids because they didn't have what they have growing up. So like, you know what? My kids, it's gonna have everything that I never have. Not knowing the danger is that it's gonna give the opposite effect, right? Meaning they're not gonna value money.
value. I think one of my questions was, I think I kind of lost track a little bit, but there's a lot of parents who are now doing like a trust fund for their
Yeah.
children, right?
Oh.
Or like investment,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
You're talking about how are we actually doing
how
it?
how you
Yeah.
actually doing it, right?
How
Think
you're
our
setting them
parents-
up.
Yeah, how you setting
Yes.
up. Like,
I
'cause
got you,
my
got you.
parents didn't do that.
Yeah,
But if I
yeah,
think about if I had children, maybe the $20 lucky that you're supposed to go to a bar with the guys, hey, he's gonna go to the kids' account. Well, at 18, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna hand them all this money.
Yeah, No. yeah.
But I wouldn't mind setting them up in that sense, and then
Right.
teaching them along the way, so that maybe when they get to that point where they could say, "Man, you know what? I don't have money to do this. I'm struggling." And I could say, "Hey, I created this for
I got you.
Right.
To go off with what Toby was
yeah,
talking
what
about
Toby
first.
said, yeah.
Like, because I know a lot of parents are doing, oh, I never had this growing up, so I want to give my kids what I don't have.
Sure.
For me is, I want to give my kids what I didn't know.
Right.
And the way I'm setting them up financially is, first I have life insurance, an IUL, and that's an index universal life where it's like in life insurance, also a savings account where it's compounding as it grows. So once my kids are 18 years old, they should have at least 6 figures each to borrow from if they want to go to school and all that stuff.
Wow.
And also with the money, you could borrow and pay back. This is a whole different class for this IUL thing.
Of course.
And then for my kids, like I want them to understand, like if you want to go to school and be a doctor and lawyer, like I support you. But if you want to do something else, like this money is here for you. But then you have to show me that you got to go and struggle and not quit.
So does your children, and then maybe Sam and Toby can ask that question too, what they're doing. Do you have a checking, a saving account for your children?
No.
Okay.
I don't have that, but what I am planning to do is putting them on my credit card to help build their credit score up by the time they're 18.
So that was kind of the question that I was trying to refer to. I just couldn't click in my head.
Well,
but Toby,
well, I do have stuff set up for my son in the background. Right? I don't let him know.
Right.
You know,
course,
just like the life insurance
Right.
and then the education, the Stratford, I forgot what it's called, but it is for his education, right? So, but I don't let him know that yet. And then on the other end of it, I'm teaching him, you know, how to the value of money, where he goes to work with me on different days, and then he's struggling, right? So I'm making him struggle, but not knowing that, I'm gonna give him all this money in the back end, right? And so to me, he's like, you know, we don't have this, we don't have that. So I'm trying to teach him that mentality where, you know, everything has a cost, right? In Sun Tzu, the Art of War, when you go to war, it costs money, right? And so I teach him that in life, everything is a war, right? And whatever you do is going to cost you money. But you have to find, like Kanye West said, I have to get my fuck you money first before you go to war, right? So I'm teaching him to find all these things, and then you go to war, right? Do whatever you want to do, but you need to know how to wage it.
Does when you had your son, did you create a checking and saving account for him?
Oh yeah, off the bat. You know, because well, as far as checking and savings for him, no. But as far as his investment stuff, yes, his checking and saving is all the money that he saves on his own. Whatever he earns, whatever he buys, you know, I let him decide what he do with that. But I set it up to a way where there's savings, there's spending, and then there is help, which donating.
Right.
You know?
I know in our you know, this is kind of off topic, but in the future session, we're definitely going to be talking about financial literacy and all that, how important that is in the Southeast Asian community. Sam, what about you, man?
I haven't crossed that bridge yet, and and I'm taking like little mental notes of what Toby and Charles is saying, and it means like a lot to hear this, but I haven't crossed that bridge, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, because right now my money is tied up in so many things, and I stress this out to the guys already, so so they know what I'm going through. But once that is settled, I will definitely pick apart both your brains on how, you know, where the money should go, and be ready for that, because it's gonna happen. I'm not gonna set myself up for failure, because I'm taking all the necessary steps. So. And I wouldn't allow my daughter to fail. That's just not in my DNA. That's not in my mentality. So she's going to be fine. Where's Christy at? Right there? Okay. I was looking at this one. Ain't no one here.
We got cameras everywhere.
So I'm going to make sure my family's good first. And then if all is well, obviously I want, you know, to come back and talk about my journey. And what struggles. It's a struggle now. I'm not saying it's easy, but you know, as of right now, nothing for my kids yet, or kid. Who knows? I might have a few more, but nothing as of yet. Nothing concrete, but just know that babe, we got this.
I think it's harder when you have multiple kids, right? Like, you know, you're trying to divide up your funds, and you're trying to, make sure everybody gets an even amount, right? Because every family has that favorite kid. right? I mean,
Whether they want to admit it or not.
Yeah, admit it or not. Parents, we know you have favorite kids out there.
Sai is
but-
the favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're not the favorite, bro.
I'm not the
we
favorite.
telling you this right
I'm the
now.
black sheep in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the black sheep of the
But you know what? If we do things right, whatever money that we have saved for them, hopefully they don't have to. They don't even need it.
Yeah.
Because if they know how to go out and make the money, then
This is just extra.
that's just
It's
extra.
So
yeah,
that's
that's what I was
extra.
saying.
Yeah.
It's extra.
I
So
think
I know, but that's the important part. Like this should be an extra.
Right.
Like, oh man, I could go buy an extra investment property.
Right.
That's it. It's not for them to like build a life off.
Well, I think as parents, right, you have an obligation.
Yes.
You brought children or other people in this world
Yep.
so that you can provide for them. Besides the basic necessities such as a house, food, or whatever. There's other things that you are thinking that maybe your parents were not knowledgeable about. I think my parents, right? I asked Mom, how come you didn't put $20 every month for the whole 18 years?
But it's not their
Right?
fault.
It's not their fault, right?
It's not their fault. Yeah.
So
that's why I like the idea of not letting them know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
right.
Yeah.
It's the back end, right?
Yeah.
You don't
Back
let
end of
them
it,
know.
right?
You know,
And that's why the
you
question.
can take that to the bank, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why the question I wanted to ask more was like, what are you guys doing? As you thinking about this with your wife, conversating, right? I think about this a lot because I know that every dollar that I'm spending somewhere else, I could utilize that for my future kids.
Oh,
right?
okay.
That's
So this was
important.
asking for advice for when you have your kid.
No.
I get it.
It's for the audience.
No.
Oh, okay,
For
okay.
the
So
I
audience.
don't want advice yet. I'll just ask y'all later, But yeah, for the audience too, man. Like, how do you guys, you know what I mean? How do you guys prepare yourself as part of that conversation with your children? And are you investing? Are you finding time to think about the future and doing all that, and how important that is to you as parents? And I know that we have a different time session for financial literacy and investments and all that. And I think that's very crucial in the Cambodian, the Lao, the Hmong community. That's something that we need to speak on, you know what I mean? Because that is the future. And you look at rich people, how do they do that, right? You look at these millionaires, they put investments for their children. They hire their children at 12 years old for tax write-off, right? And I like Toby's coat, that's why. But I'm thinking about all that, right? And I'm learning.
wow.
I'm learning more as
have been
I
working
go
out.
now.
You can also do it as simple like you say, put $20 a month. But
Yeah,
that might be hard for some people. But like
Right.
when you have birthdays, sometimes the kids get money for their birthdays.
Sure,
So
sure.
Save that.
yeah.
Just put that instead of putting it into a bank or savings, put it into some like an index fund,
Right.
Or S&P 500. Just let that thing, because your kid's gonna have a lot more time to take risk than older So put it in something a little bit more high risk, not like super high, but like a little higher.
Low higher. You think about when these young guys like taking risks in businesses. If it fails, like Toby did, right, in his early years,
Yeah, I failed
he's
a lot.
he's able to bring himself back up. You talk about a guy in his late 40s or 45, 50 that makes $1 million investment and lost everything. Well, man, it was so hard to get all that stuff back now, right? So yeah, I think that's a whole different topic, but that's a great conversation I'd love to have in the future about
Well,
financial literacy.
let's end this up, and any advice for the audience as far as money and happiness and time and all that stuff.
Sam?
Sam.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback off of the whole time and money thing about I think it doesn't change my mind. Money does create happiness, but also have time. Time also makes us happy as well. So don't forget, you need one and the other.
Yeah.
So it has to be a conjoined effort to find that balance.
Yeah.
For me, like money is super important. It's like body parts. Like you have a bunch of different organs, and the bloodline is the money. Without blood, you can't survive. So same thing with the money. Money helps everything goes around.
I like that anatomical.
Yeah.
Brought it back for you for the therapy.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Toby?
For me, money is a tool. Learn how to use money, how to leverage it. And time and money is one side or
Two sided.
two sides of the same coin. If you have a lot of time, you're not going to have a lot of money. If you have a lot of money, you're not going to have a lot of time. So learn how to balance the two and then you'll find that medium where, you know, in your life where you're gonna be happier, you know. So
Yeah. I definitely feel that money does not define happiness. It just depends on where you're at in life. I think for folks around the globe, around the country, listening and watching this, man, whatever makes you happy, it's great in a certain sense. It's short-term happiness. The people that actually have money sometimes struggles to figure out how to spend it, or even spending too much can cause unhappiness, you know. So I think it just depends on where you're at in life, what you want to do. Your freedom, your time is important. Family is important. So money makes the world go round, you know what I mean? And it's there for a short period, and it always could come back again, you know? So that's my take on that. I really enjoyed this session, guys.
yeah,
That's
pretty good.
cool.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for everyone for adding us on Instagram,
Yep.
YouTube,
Love it.
Facebook. We appreciate every one of you.
And folks that, you know, we're looking for sponsorships. You know, if folks want to be part of the podcast and would love to reach out to us, feel free to DM us, direct message us on Instagram, Facebook, and even our email. We're definitely going to share that information with everybody, okay?
We'll love every support that we could
Yeah,
get.
we love every support we get.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
All right, guys. Great session.